April Brzee, Ultimate Fitness Coach. So this morning I was coaching with a client and we were talking about the opportunity to ask for permission. And this truth, this practice, this principle is really an amazing way to approach your children, to approach your spouse, to invoke a environment of love and peace and harmony, and it's such an easy way to approach circumstances and maybe experiences that might typically go in more of a warring space, with your spouse or your children fighting about coming home on time, or fighting about what you're buying at the store, or how the system is, the jobs that they do in the home, just how the system goes. Asking for permission is a really awesome way to think about, to consider approaching situations. So, for example, in the space of relationships, when you ask your spouse for permission, that can go a couple different ways, but maybe that would look like something like, I'm so excited to get our house clean, and I love having the bathrooms done, and I love having the dishes done, and so I was wondering what you were willing to do to help create that harmony, that peace in our home, and just being open to that feedback, being open to hear what they say, and even if they respond with, no, I don't want to do anything, the practice of inviting their permission, inviting their feedback will continue to be consistent in their space, and they will respond eventually. Because if you choose to approach the space of relationships with a 50,000 foot view outcome in mind, that will help you interface with the circumstances and experiences that just might happen that are only 5 feet in front of you. Sometimes we only want to focus on what's 5 feet in front of us, what the response is, or reaction is in our spouse and our kids, and we get stuck in the energy of the reaction to them saying no, or being on the defense, or maybe there's blaming that starts happening when that energy exists between your connection. So I just wanted you to consider the opportunity to ask for permission from your spouse, from your children, and play that out. Get that feedback and see how that impacts your connection, your relationship, the harmony and the peace that can be in your home by doing so. In the space of the body, when you ask your body for permission to cooperate, when you're willing to hear its feedback that it's giving you instead of judgment, instead of shame, that's a really powerful way to communicate and connect the body and spirit. When you also give permission to listen to your body, when you give yourself permission to understand and step into the space of abundance. And when it's so amazing, whenever you learn the lessons in the body, they directly apply in business. So the moment that you're willing to see nutrition support as abundance, you might unlock the doors in the business, especially in the way of money beliefs, that abundance is possible. Abundance and plenty and enough is possible. And for me, the body and the business space always teach me the biggest lessons, for me to pull out and collapse time and get further faster. And that's what it's about. For me, is getting results. I have that warrior energy, and so I want to go further faster, and I want to have that happen. In spirituality and being, when you're willing to ask for permission or to seek permission from yourself, to be able to feel what you feel, to actually be able to recognize your reaction and actually state that vulnerability, is really powerful in the evolvement of principles and ideas and platforms. And not shaming yourself, giving yourself permission to not shame yourself is huge. Giving yourself permission to recognize accountability in maybe what we would term a mistake, or making a choice that's just not in alignment with what we want, we can recognize that and then seek some permission within our own heart to recognize, take accountability, and go forward in finding solutions. And sometimes those solutions include other people, include God, include the power of the atonement, the balm of Gilead. It includes that grace. So I just wanted to throw out this idea, this opportunity to consider in a mindset the ability that we have to ask for permission. And that comes from the base energy of power versus force. Anytime we feel force energy, it is like violence to the body. It's like violence to the spirit, and we respond with defense. But when we act in power, when we come from a power energy, from choice, from willingness, from discernment, that power produces fruit and a harvest that is totally different from a fruit and harvest from an energy of force. So I hope you're having an awesome Wednesday and kicking those outcomes out, and just consider the spaces that seeking permission might get to play out in your space. I'm really good at listening to my clients and finding solutions and creating a pathway. Some of the feedback that I've gotten the last 2 weeks from my clients has been this awesome feedback, actually, and it's not really anything particular that I'm doing. We're just creating a space for that vulnerability to be lifted, and the feedback has been my burdens have been lifted off of the back of my head, my neck. I feel differently, my body feels differently, and so we just create this space to talk and coach with that permission from them and me, entering into those spaces and working forward for solutions. So if you're ready to face some of those demons and consider looking and thinking about your life in a different way, I would love to have a conversation, a consultation with you. That's my coaching programs are centered around breaking through those beliefs and patterns that are keeping you stuck. So have an awesome day.